Hey, welcome to Drum Roll. This is Annabelle Drumm, and today I have with me one of the most successful conductors from Australia in the world today. Previously, he's been General Music Director and Chief Conductor of the State Opera House of Saarbrücken in Germany, and currently he is Artistic Director and Chief Conductor of the Göttingen Symphony Orchestra. He has been guest conductor of orchestras all over Europe and Scandinavia, in America, in London, even the China National Symphony, as a Grammy Award nominee and with a discography of over 60 albums. I'd like to welcome Dr. Nicholas Milton.
Hello, Annabelle. Thanks very much for having us on the program.
I'm very pleased to have you here. I understand because we've got COVID happening at the moment, which is like the biggest conversation topic out, that it's changed things very dramatically here in Australia for our orchestras and our musicians and how they connect with their audience and how they earn their money. How has it changed things for you while you're over there in Germany?
Well, it has changed things dramatically here for my orchestra here in Germany. We've also been trying to engage with our audiences in different ways. We've sent small groups to nursing homes, performing outdoors, doing garden parties. We're doing things like that. And in fact, in July, the orchestra is mounting a performance which we're going to be videoing, a live performance, because we have this huge space. So the orchestra is going to be socially distanced, so 2 meters between every musician, but with a big orchestra. Exactly. It's going to be very interesting. So I've chosen the Dvorak New World Symphony, and we're going to see how that goes, and we're going to record it for DVD release. So
are you going to be back at the back of the stalls, are you? By the time they spread the whole orchestra out.
It's a huge area that this space that we're recording in, it can seat 10,000 people. Ooh. And we're going to be on the floor. So we're just going to see what happens.
That will be very different. In terms of sort of income producing, it's great that you've got these smaller groups going out. It must have affected all sorts of musicians. I mean, in Germany, have they got their salaries covered?
Well, the orchestra musicians do have salaries covered because many of the main orchestras in Germany are supported well by the various states. But obviously, this huge community of musicians who are essentially casual musicians who don't have fixed positions, they've suddenly seen their income dry up completely. So for many people, just like in Australia, for many people, it's a very, very difficult situation at the moment. But as musicians, I think we're tied in with our communities, and we recognise at the same time that it's so difficult for so many people. And I think musicians are sort of resistant to complaining about our difficult lives, because the fact is it's the same for everybody. Everybody's having a difficult time at the moment, and I'm hoping we can all stay positive and hopeful and optimistic, and musicians can find a way to give people that hope and that joy despite the difficulty, because in some ways that's our role in society, is to try to make people forget, make people see the mystery behind life and find moments where they can sort of escape everyday problems. And I hope we can continue to do that and just get through this period.
Yes, I think that was often underestimated. When things are going reasonably well in the economy, people forget about that, how valuable it is to have artists that can raise the vibe, is how I put it. You know, we can get in front of an audience and they leave the hall at the end of the night with a higher vibe than when they started. That is incredibly valuable. I think the last time that would have been most valuable would have been like 1920s, 30s, during the Big Depression, when musical theatre and concerts really took off, because people really needed that hope and, the need to raise the vibe. So now we've become valuable again in that way.
Well, in some ways, it is a little bit like that. Certainly, for example, what the Willoughby Symphony Orchestra has done with our Facebook page, we've seen how hungry the community is. We've always got a very engaged live public. Yeah. And that's been our role as an orchestra in the communities, to try to make people come to our concerts, to encourage people to come, and to make sure that they leave with a greater joy, a greater life joy, that their hearts have been opened and their souls have been enriched by a moment in time that we can sculpt and organise. And what we've seen is a community that is hungry still to engage, and people have been absolutely moved and touched by our videos, just as they are in concert. I've seen it here in the live performances that my musicians have done, as a tiny little performance outdoor at an old people's retirement home, and the people are literally bawling because they're so moved by music that we've taken the effort as an orchestra to engage with the community. And I think that's exactly what we're doing with the Willoughby Symphony Orchestra. And we're hoping that we can put together, as soon as it's safe for our public, we'll find a way to do a live performance that we can be a part of their lives even more concretely.
Now, the orchestras that you're dealing with in Germany are big compared to Willoughby, and yet not everybody that's watching this interview necessarily knows much about Willoughby Symphony Orchestra. It's quite special, and it's here local in Australia. I've been involved in it for a number of years. Tell me how it became your sort of pet project.
Well, it's much more than a project for me. I've been involved with the Willoughby Symphony actually for 30 years. And for the last more than 20 years as chief conductor and artistic director. So it's a family for me. The musicians, this year we lost our bassoon player, John Cran, who was 93 years old.
Oh, wow.
But, I've known John all my life. He was a professor at the Con when I was a student there. And all of the musicians of our orchestra are members of my family. And the way we see our audience is also as a family, and our audience sees us as part of the family. So it's much more than a project. It's really a passion. It's a family of musicians, a community of musicians. We have a single vision to bring joy to our community, and that's been extraordinary to see how the orchestra has developed over time to do that, to engage with young people, to engage with Australian composers. Our Compose in Resonance program's been incredibly successful. And the number of musicians who've come through our ranks, starting off as young people, and have then gone on to incredible careers, soloists and musicians who perform in the orchestra. That's been a who's who of musicians in Australia. So it's been one of the great and profoundest joys of my life to be involved with this orchestra. Obviously, my mum especially loves coming to the concerts. But it's been terrific. And of course, Willoughby is the area that I grew up in. I went to Chatswood Primary School, so just up the street.
Right.
And it's wonderful to have something in life, I think, that is a constant. And the Willoughby Symphony Orchestra for me is a constant, and it's something that I'd like to be a part of as long as they'll have me.
I think they'll have you as long as you will stay. Forgive me for calling it a project before, because it is very much a family, and I get to see lots of different shows as I go through my work as well, and there's something really, really special about this one. And even for me, sitting in the audience with the others, and you've got your subscribers, they just adore being there. It's really very different from other orchestras. They know the individual players, it's like they're stars, and there's a wonderful communication between these two. So let's have a look at some of the videos that are going to be coming up on the Facebook page. Can you tell us a little about a few of them?
Well, part of the COVID-19 challenge has sort of made us look at ourselves as an organisation. We've always tried to present a range of concerts and a range of styles. We've had our last night of the Proms, which has become a regular event. We've done gala concerts with Pacific Opera. And indeed, a way to sort of incorporate some of those ideas in our new Facebook page was the impetus for us to sort of reach out during this time. And my good friend George Ellis has put together with some of our musicians, including a wonderful percussionist called Rory, who puts together these videos, put together a spoonful of sugar from The Sound of Music. That was our first video. Over 21,000 views.
Excellent.
So that's extraordinary, considering that our Facebook page has been up literally a few weeks.
Right.
The musicians are constantly putting out new videos, and it's been really lovely to see the effort they go to make a video that's creative and interesting. We had recently a violin and a euphonium. We've got a wonderful video with Isabel Brown and Liam Meaney, and that's a terrific video with music by Taylor Swift. And we had the Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, which was actually on our plan for this season.
Right.
And every Friday we release new videos. So it's a wonderful way for us to interact with our audience and to tell our audience we're thinking about you, and we hope you'll find a little bit of joy in this video.
And if ever they come to Sydney in future, when we've got things moving again, they can always come along to the concerts as well, because they are so much fun. So if you go onto the Facebook and you can look up the Facebook page, Willoughby Symphony, I'll put a link below this video so that you can have a look. It's definitely worth keeping an eye on it, following the page and liking the page and sharing it with your friends. Thank you so much, Nicholas, for joining me today.
Thank you, Annabelle. It's been my great pleasure. Thank you very much.